Yo, what's up? What's happening? You already know who it is and what it is. It's your boy Nephew Q, and this is your first time tuning in to the world's most dangerous sports show, Beyond the Game. And you already know who I got in the building. I got my constituent, my compadres up in this joint today. I got the legendary, the OnlyFans owner, and the highest grossing OnlyFans male on that joint. B Legend in the building. B.
If it was like that, I wouldn't be sitting.
You wouldn't be sitting there. Man, you just do this because you bored, man. You need something to do, man.
Don't nobody want to see all this.
Hey, man, that ain't what your bank account say.
I don't know, but then again, maybe some people
You never know. You never know.
Hey, it's out here for you.
There it is. Nightcrawler. But anyways, we got BTG group member Jason Alexander back in the building with us today. Go introduce yourself, my guy.
Hey, what's up, fellas? It's Jason Alexander, straight out of Lexington here, back once again with the fellas on the Beyond the Group game radio show. It's good to be here again.
With Jason's Jewels. And then we got Sports and Discourse very own D-Money, a.k.a. Derek Stevenson, the president, the owner, the fan club, UK men's basketball. Go on, introduce yourself, man.
Oh, man, there ain't nothing left for me to say, man. You already did it all.
So let's get right on into it. Derek Stevenson's favorite all-time best basketball player ever made some comments Monday night before the Miami Heat Los Angeles Lakers basketball game when he was asked about his time in Miami. If you don't know who I'm talking about LeBron James. He's a bigger fan than I am. But anyways, LeBron James said this when he was asked the question. He said, "I think I would still be at this level no matter if I came here, meaning Miami, or not. Let's not get it twisted. The 4 years I was here, it was amazing. I loved everything about it. Loved this franchise. The franchise is top tier. It's one of the best franchises in the world. But as far as my career was going to be my career as far as individually, because I know how much I put into the game and I know how much I strive to be as great as I can be. But as far as what I was able to learn, here was second to none for sure." Now, fellas, I'm going to go around the room. Do y'all agree that LeBron James stating he would have the same career today if he didn't go to Miami? Do y'all think he would still have the same career if he never would have touched floor in Miami? D-Money, go ahead.
All right, first of all, I think it's very possible that he could have, and I wish that he would have just stayed in Cleveland. And this is why. I feel like if they would have taken the approach that, like, the Houston Rockets did and built a team around him like the way they did James Harden, and let him play that style of basketball, like an aggressive scoring distributor, if you will. Because I feel like when he went to Miami, I feel like they spent money on Chris Bosh, but they didn't really get max production out of Chris Bosh.
Okay.
So they could have had stronger role players. But if they would have took that approach in Cleveland, because who would he had to beat still? He still would have eventually ended up running into the Raptors.
Right.
The Wizards. The Pacers was a good team.
They was decent.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if they would have just built a group of superior role players with just LeBron being the sole star, I think it's very possible that he could have still won multiple championships.
Okay, that's fair.
All right.
Jason Alexander, what's your thoughts on this joint?
I got to agree with him. I think that a lot of what he says, there's some truth to it. I think his career would have been a lot of the same as what it was. I think he was destined to become the all-time scoring leader, which he did last year, and he's going to put some mileage on that record that I don't think anybody's probably going to be able to break. So when he says individually, I think that. Now, as far as collectively as with a team, I'm not too sure about that.
That's what I'm going to go with it.
He won, 2 titles down there in Miami, if I ain't mistaken?
Yeah, four championships, 2 titles.
Yeah, I don't know that he'd have won 2 more titles outside of being in Miami. It took that team to get him to where he was going to the finals pretty consistently. Yeah. So I don't know that I don't think he still would have passed Kobe Bryant as far as his ring total had he not been there. But at the same time, I think his individual career would have gone a lot like it already has gone. I think, in my opinion, anyway.
I feel the same way. And before I let B Legend cook on this, I think people are combining the championships and the career. I think LeBron is speaking more so of his individual career, right. And I think people are adding in the championships as well. But I think LeBron is stating, I was going to be this regardless if I went to Miami, Toronto, Indiana, no matter where I went, I was going to be this. And I believe he was going to be the all-time lead scorer, top 10 in rebounds, top 10 in assists, MVPs, etc. That was going to be no matter what, because we seen, whether you like him or not, early in LeBron James's career, you seen he was going to be great no matter what.
Oh, absolutely.
But as far as the championships part, yeah, you can have that argument, but that's separate from what I think he's saying. He's saying individually, I was going to be this anyways, regardless if I came to Miami or not. But
I think when it comes to LeBron, it's hard to have conversations around LeBron without having that championship conversation in there as well.
And I get that, but I think people are trying to combine that into what he's saying when I think he's just speaking individually.
Right.
This is what I was going to be anyways, regardless. If I just won one title, I was still going to be this.
Yeah,
I think
he's not wrong.
I think if that's all he was talking about was individually, I don't even think he should have made the comment, because it's obvious he was going to be a stat machine.
Well, I think he's saying that because a lot of people are combining his career with Miami, saying if you never went to Miami, you wouldn't have been this. And if you want to say championship-wise, okay, I give you that. Like because people are saying, well, if he never went to Miami, he wouldn't have won in Cleveland or L.A. because he didn't know how to win before he. Okay, that's an argument to be made.
He still would have been a great player.
That's what I'm saying. He would have still been a great player, but I think that's what LeBron James is saying, that people are saying that he wouldn't have been as great as he is if he never went to Miami. And I just don't think that part is true. He still would have been great.
Yeah, he would have been.
I hate to do this. Michael Jordan. Would Michael Jordan still have been great if Phil Jackson never came along? Hell, you don't think so?
Well, it goes back to the same thing I said about LeBron.
Because he was winning MVPs and stuff before Phil got there.
He still probably would have won 5 MVPs.
That's what I'm saying. He still would have been great even without Phil Jackson.
Yeah, for sure. I can't deny that.
So, Chuck, what's your thoughts, man? What's your thoughts on LeBron James saying, that, he still would have had the same career even if he never went to Miami?
Well, I mean, I think everybody's got valid points. I mean, I think it really comes down to is when he says that about he would have had the same career. Like, what does that mean?
I think he's talking about individually.
Individual stats,
like the where he at with all the accolades and the top 5s and top 10s and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I don't think he would have had all the chips that he had.
No,
I don't think he would have had the championships. I mean, but I'm not going to even say that. I'm just going to put a question mark on that, because a lot of it just depends on, the makeup of the team and what they put together, right?
That's fair.
What they would have done, what they would have put around him. So we can't necessarily say that he wouldn't have won the championships. I think it was a question mark, but I think it was just all been predicated upon what they put around him. That's number one. Number two, in terms of scoring title, I think that also has to do with his championship runs, because it's based upon the number of games that you have too. I think the one thing you got to keep in mind is that LeBron, out of a lot of these guys, he's been able to stay, injury free
for the most part, except for the last maybe 3-4 seasons.
Except for the last, couple of seasons or whatever. So he definitely had an opportunity, to break that scoring record. Now, again, if he's not going and playing in all these playoff games, et cetera, does he break it? Don't know, right? So that's the question. So, I mean, I think he, hands down, I mean, he's definitely was going to put up numbers. He was going to be a superstar. It was what it was. You saw that when he first came into the league, so you can never deprive him of that.
Right.
But would he have been able to, hit all these marks? I got a question mark. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm just saying I think there's just other things that go into that.
I'll be honest. If he never went to Miami, okay, let me ask y'all this then. Let's say he never went to Miami and he only got 2 chips. Let's say he won one in Cleveland and one in L.A., right? With everything he has now, would he still be top 5?
He would be for me.
If he only had 2 chips with everything
top 5 would be
2 chips.
Hard, but I mean, when you can go top 25 and all of those guys is good enough to where you could say they might be the best basketball player that ever played.
Right.
It's just about what, you got to get into breaking down what they actually accomplished to separate them. But I mean, because like Tim Duncan ain't top 5 in most people's, but could you say he's the best basketball player that ever played? Possibly. Shaq might not be in some people's top 5, but you could argue that he's the best ever. Even Kobe's not in a lot of people's top 5. So I might not be able to put him in top 5 just because there's guys that would have accomplished a little bit more. But I mean, at the very least, even for a hater like me, I couldn't put him too far in the list.
I mean, he's top 10. I mean, hands down. I mean, but again, I think it all comes down to people's personal preference, right? What do they view when they list players, the top 5 or top 10, how do they look at it? So if you're gauging it off of championships, then no, he wouldn't be. Because you would have
There's still a lot of guys
if everything remained static. Kobe's got 4. Kobe's got 5. MJ's got 6. Magic, so he's going to be down on that level if you're looking at championships, right? Mm-hmm. But then he's got 2 championships, and say he's got the scoring title, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
because Wilt only got 2, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Wilt, he only got 1, don't he?
I thought he had 2. I thought he had 1.
I thought he did have 2, but
I thought he had 2.
I ain't too sure off the top of my head.
But I just think it all comes down to personal preference, really. Because even today, as we talk today, we can sit here and talk about Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Wilt, Tim. Some people are going to tell you Tim Duncan's top 5.
That's true. He's in my top 10.
Some people are going to tell you that. Right?
I ain't listening to them, but they can
Well,
tell
I'm
me.
just saying,
Yeah, they can tell me
some
that.
some people going to say that, right? Mm-hmm. Some people ain't going to put LeBron. They may put LeBron at number 8.
Yeah.
Some people may put
Bayless.
LeBron. I'm just saying, some people may put LeBron as number 1.
Quentin Walker.
Yeah. Well, we know what you going
The
to do.
rest of America, too, except for these 3 people in here.
Well, come on, man. Come on, man.
I do think if he hadn't gone to Miami, he probably would have broke that scoring title sooner than what he did.
Why? Because he would have had more of the scoring responsibility?
I believe so, yeah. You got to think, when you put him on there with D. Wade and Chris Bosh, that's going to take away scoring title. That's going to take away points from him, and he was in his prime at Miami, so.
But you're making a lot of assumptions, though.
It's definitely an assumption
you
on
a lot
my
of
part.
assumptions that because now he's the main guy out there, he ain't got all that help, so is he going to get beat up a little bit?
It's possible, but
is he gonna
all I'm
get-
saying
is he
is
getting-
you
does-
keep him
Well,
out
then
there
that-
with Boobie Gibson, man, he's going to score 35 a game as opposed to being out there with Dwayne
But
Wade.
that also brings a point that he was saying, that extra workload, does he get injured sooner than he did now because he has to carry more weight now?
It changed.
But he pretty much still played the same, so he still was ball dominant even in
that's true.
Miami.
That's true.
Yeah.
And William Sweat, he made a good comment. He said if he doesn't go to Miami, then he isn't in the GOAT discussion.
Probably not, but
Probably not.
No, I agree with that.
He still ain't in the GOAT discussion.
I agree with that too, because he is the GOAT, so there is no discussion. I wholeheartedly agree with
there's only
that.
two
Chuck,
guys.
that's the first time we agreed on something. He is not in the GOAT discussion because
there's
he's
only
the
2
GOAT.
guys is in the GOAT discussion.
You're right. It's 2 of them, and LeBron's one of them, and he ain't number 2.
LeBron, Raymond James is not in it.
He ain't number 2.
He's your GOAT.
He's everybody's GOAT.
No, he ain't everybody.
Once I realize
one
it.
of the things that's always that I've had a problem with, why I hate on LeBron, right? And maybe some of it's just because I feel like his coaches let him off the hook. When you have somebody that's as gifted as he is, when I hear people say, but he makes the right play, it's not the right play for you to get a ball
not gonna do
to
this.
George Hill or somebody like that.
It's the right play to give it to John
When
Paxson.
you're the best player,
Oh, really?
in most cases, no.
But it worked out, right?
It just worked out for him.
That's where it goes.
But the right play is always for the best player to have the ball in their hands and try to score first. Now, if you get pinned down, because LeBron James is better than anybody that he's playing with,
But
right?
fundamental basketball tells you to make the right play. It don't say make the right play unless you're a superstar.
Nah, man.
I'm just telling you what fundamental basketball tells you to do.
If I was LeBron James' coach, I would say, listen, the right play is always for you to try to get the shot. Now, if you miss it, then I'll go to the podium and tell the world that I told him to do it, and I live with the results.
When have you seen it happen? With any coach and any NBA player ever, a coach that said, you know what, I told him to do this and it didn't work out, that's my fault.
That's kind of the only guy that really does that, though. The other guys that's not even as good as LeBron James really try to go get it, though.
And how did it work out for them?
Some of them, Jordan, Kobe, they got some
Okay,
rings
so
off of
that's
it,
2
but
guys. So how did it work out for everybody else?
It didn't work out for guys like Tracy McGrady and
Oh,
stuff
I
like
didn't.
Iverson. It didn't work out for them, but they always tried to go get it, and I think
And they got
he's
nothing.
more capable than most of those guys. So if he would have just played, like if he had James Harden's mentality and played exactly how James Harden plays,
No.
even with the passing, he still could. He could have been doing 40-point triple doubles.
But ain't what we do.
Often.
We ain't what we do. You know why?
That's not
You know
what he
why?
does.
Because James Harden ain't won nothing doing those 40-point triple doubles.
But he could have though. I think.
He could have.
The
Should have.
Clippers ain't gonna win. They gonna be trash.
We're going to get to that in a second, B Legend. We're going to take a quick break here on Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. When we come back, we'll talk about Derek Stevenson's UK basketball team. We also got a Duke fan in the building as well, so we'll get into some UK Duke action when we come back on Beyond the Game.
All right.
Trinity University.
Here you go.
I wasn't even that talented.
You
I wasn't even that talented. If I played with guys that was weaker than me, I'm shooting the last shot. I'm not giving it up to you just because you old.
Adam Ken said, "Watch the Iverson slander, Derek Stevenson."
No, not slander, but he's not as capable as LeBron James.
Nah.
That's not a knock. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's just like they said the game on Friday, the other day in Miami.
Huh.
The play was drawn up for him to pass that ball to Cam Reddish. Now, come on, man, you can't. Cam Reddish.
I got to find out through the season who I got.
It was the right play. It was wide open. But people are gonna sit there and say, LeBron, you got to take that shot. So he can't win either way.
Look, you remember when the Dream Team was walking to the game, and Ahmad said, "MJ, if it come down to the last second, who's gonna shoot the ball?" And he was like appalled, like, "What you mean? It's me." And he's on a team full of Hall of Famers where I would be cool if you passed it to one of them wide open, and he still he can't help it. I'm going to shoot it.
Redeem Team was the same way with Kobe.
Yeah,
I mean, he
when
would
it's
go the
time
whole
for-
game without
you
scoring. In
need
the fourth
it,
quarter,
I got
he
it.
was
And,
gone.
and LeBron was on that team, and they knew. LeBron them knew who the man was.
And
They
those
knew he was gonna
guys,
close out that game.
Yeah, they knew
those
who the
guys
man
are
was.
cool with missing and taking the heat.
I don't know none of these players y'all talking about, so conversation don't involve me.
But maybe some of that is just because the era that he grew up in or that he played in, he had to be so conscious of social media and stuff. Maybe it makes him less, wanting to get into those situations where he can be criticized, even though he gets criticized.
Killer
anyway.
mentality. There's no such thing as a killer mentality.
And we know he reads the tweets.
Ain't no such thing. Did Magic Johnson have a killer mentality? Name me the game-winning shots Magic Johnson made.
All of them.
That's my point. So this killer mentality is just because
Well, you got the baby hook that he did up there in Boston during the playoffs.
Welcome back to Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. When we come back, we talking a little Cowboys action right here. I'm just talking about killer mentality. He says killer mentality. Well, what does that even mean? Like Magic Johnson was considered a killer, but we can't name 5 game-winning shots he made.
I don't need to name 5
because
he ain't killer on the court.
How do you know that? Why? Because he passed the ball, looked cool doing it.
Man, looks smooth.
Yeah, he's a smooth mentality. He ain't got no killer mentality.
But he was always attacking the defense.
Yeah, he didn't have to have a killer mentality because they was blowing everybody out back in.
Oh, was they?
He was a killer wearing Converse
till they got to
shoes
the
and
Pistons
tights.
and
Okay. I was gonna say Pistons and Celtics had a little something to say about that.
Pistons
That
Celtics did, but they were still doing
That's got to be TC.
I don't know who it is. We got get them put them through real quick. Hey, caller, what's your name, man? Caller, you there?
What up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. We got TC on the line. TC.
Come on, man.
I should have known with the NBA talk you went too far behind.
Come on, man.
But
Man, y'all talking about LeBron. You know I got to call in.
TC, so give me your thoughts real quick on the LeBron James comments. What did you think about it?
First thing that comes to mind for me is this. I don't understand why he felt the need to make that comment. Why do you feel like you need to respond to any criticism about his greatness? I would even say this, Q, his GOATness, because he is in the conversation.
My man.
He's not the GOAT. He's not the GOAT, but I'm just saying
You was doing just good, TC. You was doing good, but go ahead though, man. Go ahead.
I'm trying to understand. That's the first thing. Why does he have to make those comments? Right? Now, other thing is this, and I will say this, that I will give you this cue. He is the only player that I can remember that came in with those expectations. There is not a player that's in my era that came into the league with the expectation. So the question earlier was about if he only won 2, would he be in top 5? I will say no, because of the unrealistic expectation that was on him. It will be a huge disappointment for a guy like him to only win 2. So because of that, you got to factor in he didn't accomplish the things that he should accomplish. So there is no way he could be in the top 5. It would, in some sense, it's like a disappointment because his expectation was higher than any player that has ever come into the NBA. Probably Kareem is probably up there. Victor is not. He's not. I don't think Victor's close to what LeBron had on his head. So because of that, he wouldn't be, in my mind, top 5 if he only won 2. The last thing I'll say is this. LeBron going to Miami went to Miami Culture University. And because of what he encountered in that culture, it really exalted extremely talented, gifted player into a championship mentality player. And so because of his experience in Miami, he not only understood what it took to be a champion, he was around people that was expected it to happen. I don't know if Cleveland was thinking, yeah, maybe LeBron get us there, but they ain't never won nothing. Like they don't know how to help someone do that. They've never done it. And so LeBron said, where can I go to learn how to win like that? And there was only a few places in the league that has that kind of culture, and Miami was one of them. So, yes, stat-wise, he would have accomplished those things, but as a champion, I don't think he would have done that in most of any other place in the NBA. That's just my opinion.
Real quick, to give you some rebuttal, I'm about to shock all of y'all. I don't think Miami has a winning culture, because if Miami has such a great winning culture, when these big-time free agents become available, why ain't they running to Miami? If it's a great winning culture down there, if it's a winning attitude, why ain't they running down there to Miami?
But still, they've been to the finals a lot of times.
They have been, but why aren't they winning? Okay, so if they go to the finals a lot of times, and NBA Finals, it's all about the superstars, right?
Right.
So the Miami Heat went when they played the Lakers in the bubble, and then last year when they played
Denver.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They need a superstar in those moments to help get them over the hump, right? So if it's a winning culture, why aren't the superstar free agents dying to get down there to put them over the hump if it's such a superstar winning culture down there?
I'd say that has more to do with the superstars wanting to link up with one another, as well as the max contracts going to come into play as well.
Yeah,
but they've had room. They make room.
But here's the
who
thing.
wants to play with Jimmy Butler though? You know he wants to dominate the team by himself. So,
but it's the culture though, right? So it's not Jimmy Butler, it's the culture. So why ain't they running down there if it's all about winning?
But it's more to it than that though.
Well, what is it? Explain it to me, B Legend.
I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, it's not. You got to when you try to put these guys together. Even when you think about when LeBron,
they signed Kyle Lowry.
No, when LeBron, Bosh,
he's a winner,
and D Wade was down there, right?
Right.
Now remember, Bosh was not the number one option.
I know it's Melo.
It was Melo,
right?
But it's all about money too. Mm-hmm. They got to be able to pay these guys. Mm-hmm. So you got the money that goes into it, and then you've got to have people that want to play together. Now, not saying that they don't want to play with Jimmy Butler. I'm not saying that. But Jimmy Butler's a guy that's taking up money. Bam Adebayo's a guy that's taking up money. Right, so if two other guys go, and now what is it? They're gonna take a pay cut to go play in Miami. They're not gonna do that, regardless of what the culture is. Right, they're not gonna do that. Mm-mm. So there's more to go into it than just the culture.
Right. Now, I'm gonna have to push back because I don't have the actual numbers in front of me. But every time, like when KD became available, when Bradley Beal before he signed the extension became available, these guys Miami had the room to go get these guys.
But did they want to? So Damian Lillard want to go down there?
Well, that was. He was stupid.
But the question is, let's run with that and say, that's what they want. That they had the money to make that happen, right?
Right.
But the question on the table is, did KD feel like going to Miami, playing with Jimmy Butler was going to help him win a chip? No.
But it's a culture, though.
No, but it's still about winning. It's still about winning.
But I thought that's what they do in Miami.
Well, would you say that San Antonio Spurs have a winning culture?
They had one.
But they still got Popovich, so that culture still remains down there. But ain't nobody running down to San Antonio to play.
They starting because that's a small market. Nobody wants to play in San Antonio, so they basically have to build. Miami doesn't necessarily have to build, even though it's technically considered a small market. But they don't have to build like San Antonio does because Miami is a place that people don't mind living in. Nobody wants to live in San Antonio.
But we got to be realistic though. Most of the players just want to go to LA right now. One of those teams.
Mm-hmm. Wonder why.
What's
they just want to live in LA, I think.
What's your 2 cents on this, TC?
Go ahead, TC.
Yeah, I would say, again, when you define winning culture, it's not necessarily teams that always win championships. If you look at what Spoelstra has done over the last, I don't know how many years, he's one of the most winningest coaches in NBA history.
I agree.
They win games. Like, they put you in a position to win games. And let's talk about the bubble real quick. That team was I think they were the 5th or 8th seed or something.
I think that was 5.
So it was something crazy, but it's something about when they're in positions to win games, they win games. That team is not, to me, top heavy with all-stars and Hall of Famers, but they find a way to win. And let's not minimize the guy that's over all that. And that's one of the best coaches that's ever coached, and that's Pat Riley. And I've had some players that's played with Miami, so I've kind of know them personally. I've experienced what it's like. Heat culture, to me, it's more about fit, discipline. They understand how to evaluate talent. They're always competitive. Let me say it that way. I mean, if you think about it, when has Miami really had a huge drop-off since? I mean, probably right before LeBron them got there. After the championship in 06, was it? They dropped off and then LeBron them came. They've been competitive ever since. If you think about it, they're always tops of the Eastern Conference. So that's what I mean winning culture. Like, they're expected to win. There's a lot of NBA teams, they don't have the expectation to win a championship. Do you think, the Kings, it's getting better, but they've never really won a championship. I mean, some of these teams just never, Memphis. Do you think Memphis knows how to win a championship? I mean, there's a lot of teams that don't. Dallas. I mean, Dirk, they won one, but I just think the Heat taught LeBron everything as far as preparation, discipline, just all those things that made him a great champion. That's why I say they have a winning culture, because they're always competitive.
But I also say this too. I mean, the when you look at NBA players, not all the NBA players have the mentality or the work ethic to go play in Miami either.
Yep.
So therefore, Miami is never going to win a chip then, because ain't no super.
I'm not saying that all. I'm just taking as the facts as what they are, because anybody that has gone down, if you listen to what they tell you, we talk about this Heat culture, what they do tell you is that, hey, when you go down there and you go into training camp and you go through this whole Heat culture thing, it is a process. And when you are there and you are playing for Miami, you are playing for Miami. You are playing, it is Heat culture, it is whatever you want to call it. And that's different than probably any of these other teams.
I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, to CC's point before we get him out the line, if I'm a superstar in the league and I'm at a franchise that I'm upset with and I'm ready to leave, and I see the Heat have just went to the finals without a superstar, wouldn't you want to come be that superstar to come put them over the hump because they have a great culture?
But you probably need a little bit more. Because you got to think. I understand your point, but you also got to think about the rest of the landscape of the NBA. Just because they went there this year and played last year and played the Nuggets, they got there and they exceeded themselves, but they lost a lot, and then the landscape of the NBA changed.
But that's the point, though, right?
No, it's not the point.
Because the landscape changes, so it's in the.
But even if the culture's there and the star's not gonna go and not be able to win. He can look at the landscape and say,
he don't know that, though.
Yeah, he do.
No, he don't.
Oh, come on.
He don't know that because, like you just said, the landscape changes, right?
Now, hold on. Did you really think that Miami had a chance to beat the Nuggets?
No, but if you had a superstar with them, do you think they have a better chance
But
now?
they lost pieces with that. They lost people.
That's the way the NBA goes. Denver Nuggets, they lost pieces, did they not? Okay, the same thing. Go ahead, TC.
I was going to ask you this, Q. So do you not think that LeBron going from Cleveland to Miami helped him become a champion?
Of course.
Right? So that wasn't just D-Wade. I don't think that was just Boss. LeBron got connected to something that expected, not just, hey, we think we can win. Miami Heat, their culture is like, we expect to win. That's a whole different approach to everything. And I would say this, too. I think Legend kind of had a point about this. There are some people that don't like Pat Riley. Like, literally, I don't want to deal with him because he's that dude where he's on you all the time. Like, he is fist on your head when it comes to that culture. And some players just don't want to vibe with that. And they understand, do I want to go be a part of that? I heard someone say the other day how LeBron, this may have been Stephen A., sorry, but he said something like LeBron didn't get the latitude in Miami because of Pat Riley that he's had in other places because it's Pat Riley. We're doing it my way. Pat Riley, old school. And so some players just don't want to deal with that. And so if there's other options out there, who do I choose? Do I want to deal with Pat, or do I want to go with the Bucks? Or do I want to go deal with – and I think when you look at it from that standpoint, every situation is different. What's the options? What's the options out there? Because I'm going to say this. People aren't turning down Miami to go play for the Nets. Like, they're not turning them down to go play for a bad organization. Does that make sense? It's not like they're rejecting the Heat culture to go to a lesser culture who don't have the expectation to win. That's not happening.
Well,
So every case, I think, is different. That's all I'm saying.
yes and no, but I would like to continue this. But, man, TC, appreciate you for calling it because, you know, Kyrie and KD, I mean, they had a chance to go to Miami. They spun in and started their own thing with the Nets. Now, did it work out? No, it didn't, but they had the opportunity to do so.
I don't know how factual that is. They could package to go to the Heat. I don't know. I've never heard that. If that's true, that would be a new one on me.
I never heard that one.
Of course, y'all don't. Of course,
No, I'm just saying I never heard that. I've never heard that.
Hey, it'd have been fun to see Kyrie and Pat Riley though.
So
Yeah, because I don't think that would have worked at all.
Oh shoot, no.
So basically, y'all said Pat Riley's an old school player. I'm an old school type of guy, and you have to have the mental fortitude to play for Pat Riley. And somebody played there for 4 years, but yet he keeps getting claimed as he doesn't have mental toughness. But anyways, we ain't gonna get into that. TC, we appreciate you for calling in, my guy.
I'll holler at y'all, man.
Yep. I'm just saying, y'all said it, not me. Y'all said you gotta be a different type of dude to play for him.
Well, we saw he went back home.
So and then he what? He won.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
you
Oh
know,
yeah. Oh yeah.
He took a team that was failing and, you know, took them to the championship. It's light work. But anyways, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM.
He lost them 2 championships.
When we come
too.
back, we will talk about how Jordan Neville won a championship in the 80s and Derek Stevenson's UK Wildcats. Okay.
The voice of the people.
Okay. Okay.
I'd say between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler, boy, it's a tough place to play. Tough place to want to play.
I don't think I could play with Jimmy Butler.
With who?
Jimmy Butler. Here's why. Because Jimmy Butler is one of them dudes that seems like he's really aggressive towards his other teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And he does have some moments where he gets busy, but he has some moments where he folds.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get up all up in my shit like that,
You better make sure you
not
yeah.
fold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I done seen it happen a couple times where I've been looking like, Jimmy, what you doing out there, bro?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
standing still? Like he looked a little funny in some of them games against Denver. Like,
yeah.
I was like, bro, you can't be doing all that if you going.
Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Hey.
Like, one thing about Kobe, he was nasty to some of his teammates, but the only time he ever did some weird stuff was when he didn't pass at one time. That's goofy shit.
But at the same time,
when all he did was pass,
yeah,
wouldn't shoot.
yeah, that's what it
but
was.
at the same time,
that's goofy.
I'll take
but-
that from Kobe. I'll take that from you. I'm not taking that from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. We're going to talk a little UK men's basketball team with Sports and Discourse very own Derek Stevenson. I'm about to let him have the floor so he can talk about these dudes. But anyways, so D-Money.
How long is this segment?
30 seconds. 30 seconds. D-Money. Y'all had y'all first game Monday night. Who'd y'all play against?
New Mexico State.
Of course I did. Against New Mexico State. D-Money, tell me y'all season outlook for this upcoming season. What's y'all expectations?
The unrealistic expectations is championship.
There we go.
The realistic expectations for me is Elite Eight.
Okay.
Because right now I feel like that they're ranked in the top 20,
Right.
15 to 20 range. And I think that's probably probably the best or the most accurate preseason ranking they've ever had. It's the lowest one that they've had since Calipari's been at Kentucky. But I think it's the truest one because they didn't give them credit for being freshmen that are top
Like
high
DJ
school
Wagner.
players.
Yeah.
Because I think the days of the top high school players being the best college players is over.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think DJ Wagner is going to be the best point guard every time he plays.
That's true.
I think there might be 20 out there better than him. I don't know.
Right.
So I think realistically, I would hope to see at least Elite Eight. But right now, it's kind of up in the air for me because we don't have any of our 7-footers.
Okay.
And I really don't know how long they're going to be out. They definitely going to miss against Kansas, which we might get.
Shellacked.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it real with you.
Yeah, okay. When do y'all play Kansas, by the way?
Is that next Tuesday?
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
Is that here?
I have to check.
It's
But
that tournament.
Oh,
with-
tell me.
oh yeah.
Duke will play Michigan State.
But I'm afraid of that game because we're gonna have basically Mitchell, who's a stretch 4. He's gonna have to play center. He's gonna have to score and stay out of foul trouble. And then we're gonna have Jordan Burks, who I initially didn't think was gonna get much clock, and the Duke Thero, and that's gonna be our front court. So we're gonna be playing small ball, and I just don't know against stiff competition how we gonna fare. Like we
Okay.
got, I'm not gonna count Louisville out because the rivalries are always trap games. We got North Carolina, we got Miami, so I'm a little worried, and I got to see what they look like when we get at least 2 of the big men back.
Right.
But I'm afraid that Big Z may not play because he still hasn't been officially
I
cleared.
thought he was cleared.
He ain't been cleared. So I feel like it could be a situation where he just might not get cleared in time
like Kenner.
and may never play for Kentucky. So right now I am a little worried. But I do think they have potential. The thing that I like about them so far is that they're making minimum mistakes. There's a couple of plays where I feel like good competition, they would have had more turnovers than normal, but their turnovers have been low. Their shot selection has been decent, and they're pretty unselfish. So I like how they're playing basketball. I'm just afraid that now they don't have enough size.
Who's the alpha on this team?
I don't really know if there's one alpha.
So who's close game? Who's getting that ball?
I can't tell you because right now they move the ball so good. I think it's just going to go to whoever is open. None of them seem to really feel – I don't feel any selfishness from any of them so far. They all seem to, just make plays for each other, which is surprising, to be honest. I don't ever feel like I see any of the guys doing too much. They kind of just whip the ball around the court, and whoever gets the shot gets the shot. They got a lot of dudes that I feel like can make plays. So I wouldn't know who the ball is going to end up, whose hands it'll end up in if they end up in one of those situations.
Sean Gurley said, I'm still mad DJ is not in Louisville. Bro, have you seen Louisville? Do you think DJ want to come be a part of that mess?
Man,
smart
you
man.
think Kenny Payne gonna keep his job?
Yes, because he's black.
You think so?
Yes.
All year?
With Breonna Taylor's situation happened, they cannot fire a black coach.
So what if he wins 5 games? You still think he keeps his job?
I think there'll be some discussions, but I think it'd be hard to do it right now.
You really think so?
Yeah, they had riots up there in Louisville, and
I think he need to go ahead.
I think if they keep him, they gonna have more riots.
Get the game back together so y'all can recruit players.
the bad part about it is Louisville usually has they lead in merchandise sales. They have big TV shares and stuff like that. So when you think about it, when people are not filling up the seats, if you look at how much revenue you would lose at a game because you have people not paying for parking, people not buying merchandise, people not eating and drinking at the restaurants on the inside.
Yeah.
TV contracts are going to start to look funny. They are going to have to make some decisions quickly if he doesn't start winning, but I think they're going to give him as long of a leash as they can until they pull the trigger on it.
Sean said his granddaddy's on. Sean, we know his granddaddy was on the staff. His daddy played for Calipari. What's your point, man? Just because his granddaddy's on the staff, he got to go to Louisville. What's that got to do with? What's that got to do with anything? But D Money, in order for y'all to make a deep run, a Final Four run, what's the keys to the season?
we got to get everybody back healthy, first of all. And I think these guys just got to stay playing the way they playing right now, which is unselfish basketball. And they got to just keep playing with the same aggressive energy they do on defense. 'Cause I like how they actually all try hard on defense.
He said try hard.
Like, no, I don't feel like nobody's out there taking plays off. I don't feel like nobody's saving it for offense. I feel like they playing hard on both sides of the ball, and they letting basically any night, it could be anybody's night to score. Antonio Reeves, I mean, I thought initially he was going to be they was going to be forcing him the ball, but they kind of just moving it, and he gets it when he gets it. But I like that they playing like this. So
He said,
but they got to get healthy.
His grand. We know Milt Wagner's like that's your own personal feelings. That don't mean just because he's a Louisville legend, he's supposed to go to Louisville. Like this guy, Sean. What?
DJ might not even like his granddad, man.
You feel me?
Know.
We don't know what their relationship is like. He might want.
Granddad might have put him in timeout too many times when he was
He didn't
little.
spend a lot of time up in Louisville, did he?
Yeah, I'm saying. I mean, just because he's granddad's, his granddad's on the staff. Okay, and so what? Talk to me about these key matchups. You already hinted to it earlier. What's the key matchups during the season?
I'm definitely afraid of Kansas, just because of size.
Right.
Miami scares me.
Right.
Like I said, Louisville does scare me because I feel like this team can't lose to Louisville.
Right.
But it could be a scary game because they might feel the pressure on them.
Where's that game at this year?
I have to look.
Yeah.
We got North Carolina. North Carolina is starting to ramp up. They starting to get some hype. So I ain't seen y'all yet.
I watched this Monday.
But still, though.
It was first game. I was like, okay, but too many turnovers for us. The typical Carolina team, which is we give up too many threes, too many turnovers, and we played Radford. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like at halftime, I think we was either down by 2 or up by 2 at half. And I'm like, come on, bro, what are we doing?
And then we still got some tough teams in the SEC. Texas A&M, Arkansas, to name a few. So, but initially we do have. Of course, we got some warm-up games, if you will call them that, some lesser competition. But we got a decent, I would say it's not a super tough non-conference schedule, but it's decent. It's going to definitely get them ready for the SEC.
So if Coach Cal doesn't make it to the Elite Eight, it means what for Cal?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He'd be right back in next year.
See, this is my thing, man. I definitely feel like the fans are going to be upset. They're going to be super because I think the unrealistic expectations are extremely high right now.
Every year.
But more so because I feel like everybody's looking at this team as to be the one to bring us all the way back.
That's what I'm saying.
But I just don't think freshmen are the best players in college anymore.
They're not, man. Not with the transfer portal.
Yeah. So I think even still with him having a team full of mostly freshmen and a couple of experienced players, it's kind of hard. You just got to wait and see because I just don't think that's the way you can build a championship team anymore. Like I said, when he had them earlier UK squads, the guys he was recruiting were better than college players, but they're not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so it's just
that's the reality.
It could go either way.
When you look at a lot of teams in the top 10, a lot of them have a mixture of a couple good freshmen, but they got a lot of dudes from the transfer portal that are 21, 22, 23 years old. So that makes a big difference when you bring in a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah, I think at some point it's going to get to a competition with the Blue Bloods where we're going to have to start like stealing some of his guys.
You mean by Duke?
Or even some of yours.
You can have some of ours.
Can't have none of ours.
But I think that's what it's going to come to.
I think, if we stole a Louisville player, if that means anything.
Hey, I'm grateful that we got Jay Lucas from y'all. He seems to be doing pretty good down there.
Well, there it is. Derek Stevenson from Sports and Discourse outlook on UK basketball season. He got them going out in the round of 32 for this upcoming season. He said it's Elite 8 or bust. He said he at least got this team going to the Elite 8, but he'll wait and see what their approach. When we come back on Beyond the Game, we'll talk about James Harden, who is Charles's favorite player in the NBA, and what does it mean for the Los Angeles Clippers when we come back.
Right. Let's be real quick. The Boozer boys take their official this weekend down at Duke.
Who does?
The Boozer
They taking their visits where?
The official visit at Duke this weekend.
Oh, they just now taking it?
Yeah, they're official.
I figured they would have been there and took that one.
I'm wondering, I'm wondering if they're going to announce this weekend. I know you know how that goes sometimes with them visits, man. It'd be hard to see them going somewhere else.
Oh,
I mean, anything can happen. but-
Welcome back to Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. Chuck, before we get into James Harden,
What up?
also it's somebody I want to talk. Well, a team I want to talk about. Yo, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
Yo, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, get the mic a little closer. So
Dallas Cowboys.
Yo, Dallas Cowboys. Ralph ain't here for his guy Dak, but they lost 28-23 to the Eagles.
What you want to talk about?
So after that L they just took, should they be confident going into the second half of the season?
Well, I tell you, it depends on who
Here we
you're
go.
talking to, man. I mean, you know, a lot of these Cowboy fans are feeling really
feel-
encouraged
by
about what
losing.
happened.
That's what they doing.
I mean, you know, I don't understand how you can feel encouraged about a loss. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you hear every excuse in the world.
It's
you know,
the refs.
It's the refs, or it's this, or it's that.
Before you continue on,
Yeah.
I knew that you was gonna say that because I knew B Legend. Did you know that the Cowboys are tied for first in the NFL for penalties? 60 penalties. That's tied with the Chiefs, Bills, Chiefs, Cowboys, and the Bears and the Packers for the most penalized team. So this saying, it was the refs. Well, y'all been the tied for the most penalized team in the NFL. But please continue.
Well, you know, as I said before, you know, these Cowboys, man, you know, I love it, man. You got a lot of Cowboy fans out here. You a Cowboy fan?
No.
I know you ain't no Cowboy.
I'm neutral with the Cowboys.
Hey, what was that, man?
I don't hate them like most folks.
You should.
I don't like them.
I don't hate them. I mean,
I don't like them, but I don't hate them either.
But
I'm not a Cowboy
But
fan.
I think it's really interesting though. You know, because they play a game, right? It's what 27 seconds, 47 seconds left.
Talk to me now.
Stay on the 20-yard line, right? On their 20, and they get all the way down there, right? They first and goal, right?
What happened?
Exactly what we thought would happen.
What happened, Chuck?
They failed, right? The old Daiquiri Prescott, you know. And they say, but you know what? I'm gonna say this: Dak Prescott has been playing great football the last couple of weeks.
I give him that.
He's been playing great football. CeeDee Lamb's been playing great football.
He's been playing,
But
yeah.
it always goes back to the basics with the Cowboys. When it comes down to the money, when it comes down to the moment,
Goal line.
they just
Red
can't. They
zone.
can't pull through. And my thing is, instead of people just saying, "Oh, well, you know what? Hey, man, we almost did it. We just didn't do it. We came up short." They want to come up with every excuse as to why they didn't win the game. Whether it's a penalty, whether it's this, whether it's that. Hey, man, nobody told y'all to have a false start. Nobody told you to throw the ball short of the goal line. Nobody told you any of that stuff. Nobody told you to throw the ball, go for it. See, if you think about that game and think about what happened, they could have kicked a field goal
Right.
and been down by 3 and then had a chance to kick another field goal to tie the game. But no, they want to go for the touchdown.
They do Cowboy things.
And the Cowboys, and they 1 inch short.
They do Cowboy things.
So I'm gonna leave it like this, man, because I ain't gonna keep on talking about these bums. You know, all y'all Cowboy lovers, y'all can love them all. I hope they lose every game.
Every game.
They won't. I'm not a Cowboy hater. I just hate the fans. Actually,
That's how I feel about
that's
UK.
not fair. I don't hate the fans. I think the fans are funny because I think they're just ridiculous.
Do you think Cowboy fans and UK fans are synonymous? You think
No,
they
no,
one and the same?
No,
I think they used to
LeBron
be.
James fans.
Why you got to bring him up? We ain't got nothing to do with that. We ain't got nothing to do with that.
No, Q. No.
Is there a fan base that equals? No. Is there a fan base that equals?
Cowboys.
Well, the UK fan bases they're not the same right now. They're splintered. They're disjointed. They're disconnected. You got some that are happy, some that are upset. They're all over the place
That's fair.
right now.
In Kentucky, we're comparable to the
Yeah, I'm talking about on a grand stage.
think so.
Not across the nation.
Yeah,
I don't
not
think
across
so.
the nation. Not across the nation.
Listen to what he just said. They said the UK fans are splintered. They got all these issues. The Cowboys, they fans, they never sway.
They are
They
who they
never
are.
sway. A man told me the other day. He said, "Hey man, we winning the national. I mean, not the national. I mean the
Super Bowl."
And so the response was, they said, "No." He said, "We're going to the Super Bowl." I said, "Okay. You know what? I agree. You are going to the Super Bowl
To watch.
And guess what? Every player in the league gets tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So you all will have the opportunity to go watch the game. But playing in the game, it will not happen. It won't happen. They're just terrible. They do not come. They just don't come up in the clutch, man.
They're not terrible. They're just not good enough.
No, they just don't. They're not clutch. They're not clutch.
Yeah.
And I will say this, and I'll be done with it. Until they get rid of Jerry Jones, until that man either retires or steps away from the game and lets the coaches do what they need to do, or until that man,
meets his demise, and whenever that happens,
that'll be the next time that the Cowboys will win the
Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl. They ain't gonna come nowhere close.
It's probably going to take him passing away in order.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be the only.
He's making way too much money.
Owner that has his own show. He comes down and he has press conferences. I mean, you tell me what owner has a press conference after a game? Not the head coach, Jerry Jones, the owner.
Man,
they sitting there outside the locker room talking to Jerry Jones with all the microphones and his. What has he done?
he bought the team.
Mm-hmm. He ain't coached the team.
He bought the team.
Magic Johnson bought the team.
They ain't talking to him.
They ain't talking to him. So what's your point?
He cleaning the house right now, though.
He should.
He cleaning the house right now.
He should. So
give him time. He'll probably be doing post-game news conferences after the Washington.
I give him 5 years. I give Washington 5 years. They'll look like something.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like I said, the Eagles will beat them, and they're gonna beat them again in Dallas, and then let's sit down and watch what comes up.
I can't wait for the excuses after they lose.
Oh man, P, they parade around like, oh yeah, the Cowboys, we ready to go,
Okay. Same thing.
They're gonna come up short again.
Speaking of coming up short, and when it matters the most, James Harden is now a Los Angeles Clipper. Chuck, what's your thoughts on James Harden being a Clipper, and what can they do in order to have a successful run with James Harden there?
Nothing.
Nothing on both accounts?
No.
Damn, it don't mean nothing.
No.
Damn.
And the reason why it doesn't, because, listen, they took Russell Westbrook.
Right.
So now they have the same problem as the Lakers have.
Which is,
look at who they're starting. They're starting Russell. They're starting James Harden. They moved Paul George to the 3, Kawhi to the 4, and Zubac. Mm-hmm. Kawhi don't play the 4. He don't like to play the 4.
He barely like to play.
All right, well, I'm just saying.
He barely like to play.
And
they lost to the Knicks on Monday, too.
They will not tell Russell Westbrook
to come off the bench.
They won't do it. So
why shouldn't he come off the bench, though?
Why shouldn't he?
He's playing great. You can't say he ain't playing good.
I'm not saying he's not, but
Russ ain't the problem no more.
With this makeup, it ain't going to work.
But it's been working. I don't know that it's going to work.
With James Harden. James Harden just got to the team.
But they've only played one game. I mean, we got to give them more than one game.
And just watch and see what happens.
Well, I think in order for them to have success, it's going to depend on James Harden and James Harden's mentality, because they've proven that they can win with Kawhi, PG-13, and Russ. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of Kawhi and PG-13 staying healthy enough, long enough, in order for them to actually complete the season in a good manner.
Now, let me ask you. You said they've shown that they can win. What if they won?
Well, I mean, they made it deep in the playoffs. They made it as far as I thought they'd go in the playoffs last year. I didn't think they underachieved, but when you got to battle health the way they battle, how can they ever get any kind of continuity as a team?
But this is consistent. They are who they are.
Which team, as far as injury prone?
Yes.
Okay.
They are who they are. Just like AD, he is who he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get injured.
Oh, yeah. He's injured now.
He's injured now, right? This is what they do. Right? So you think Kawhi's going to play 82? No.
No, I don't. But I still think that the Clippers can be good with Harden if Harden buys into what he's supposed to do. The first thing he's going to
will?
I don't know. The track record says no.
I was getting ready to say track record says he's not.
No.
And you think
but at the same time, last year he was 14th in efficiency offensively, so it's not like he's washed. He can still play.
He's okay.
You're 100% correct. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying.
Right.
But from a basketball perspective, and when you look at that team that he played on in Philadelphia, it was Harden and it was Embiid. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right.
Now you go out to L.A. You've got Harden, you got Westbrook, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi Leonard. That's a whole different dynamic.
Right.
And what I'm saying is all these guys are going to have to figure out how to play together, and somebody's going to have to take a step back. Russell Westbrook is not taking a step back.
He did it before. He's
already taking a step back, though.
He ain't
If you check the stats and check the numbers, you'll see that Russ is playing less. He's playing off the ball more, and he's doing a lot of things that everybody in the Lakerland wanted him to do. He's also not shooting threes as much. But
did you watch?
He's shooting 38% from three, though.
But did you?
He did go 0 for 6 one game, yeah, for sure. Russ is gonna have bad games. He's not gonna come out and shoot 3 or 6 every game. But The thing
Turnovers,
is,
he got them too.
But he's only averaging 3.8 a game. I
the
can
clown
name, I
music
can name
on.
15 guys that averaging more turnovers.
What
than
I'm
Russ.
saying is mark it, write it down, book it, do whatever you want.
Right.
Start watching them, and it's gonna happen.
What's going to happen? Which
gonna
part?
They first of all, they gonna go to playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way.
Right,
They're gonna go to the playoffs. But
I'm not saying they're going to win a title.
oh no, they ain't got a chance. They ain't got a chance of hell to win no.
You don't think they got a chance with this for?
Hell no. Hell no. No, absolutely not.
Well,
no way.
I would love to continue this.
Ain't no way in hell.
I would love to continue
Ain't
this
no
James
way in
Harden
hell.
conversation. But we got to wrap it up here on Beyond the Game on WLXU 93.9 FM. We appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching us and sharing us on via Facebook Live. D-Money, tell everybody where they can catch you at.
Sports and Discourse with Derek
Wait a
Stevenson
minute,
on
I wanna
YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Hey, there it is. As
We
B
did a
Legend
2 hour
says,
show.
ain't no way James Harden is going to help the Los Angeles Clippers.
How? I mean, do you understand they got Russell Westbrook on their team?
I don't even care about the Russell.
But Russ
the
got
James
to
Harden part's
he
for
got
me.
to take a step back because he's going to have the ball. He's got to take a step back.
He has been.
It's James Harden for me. It's James. I don't even think Russ is the problem.
They both got. They both.
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say-
James Harden ain't gonna give up that rock.
No.
Not at all. That's why I said
Because he's
they're
got to
gonna-
be productive. He's got to have the ball in his hands and be
PG
productive.
Kawhi, like y'all two figure it out.
Well, Russ and Harden have proved that they can play together and be successful.
Well, PG,
I'm not worried about
PG and
them two.
Kawhi need the ball.
That's why I said PG and Kawhi be like, y'all two figure it out. We getting the rock. Y'all two figure it
How
out.
they,
Russ-
how they gonna get
Russ
the
and
rock?
James
Somebody got to
might
give it to him.
They get it off the glass.
Oh, okay.
Make it off the glass. We gotta get on up out. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, treat somebody how you want somebody to treat your mama. We up out this thing, y'all. Peace.